into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
As you can see, we're trying to get this little mood to be very spooky. Welcome, guys. Yeah, exactly. To AfterBuzz. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all are pumped as we are to get into the very first season series premiere of Wayward Pines.
The inaugural first episode.
Exactly. The mini-series premiere of Wayward Pines on Fox. I'm your host, Kanika Lal. You can follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal. And my lovely co-host for tonight. Introduce yourselves.
Hey. Hi, I'm Micheal Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter at Micheal_Drew. That's Micheal EAL.
And I'm Paige Bonanno. You can follow me at the same Paige Bonanno.
And I'm Jordana Morfin, and you can find me at Jordana_Morfin.
And a little shout out, this is your first time on AfterBuzz.
So excited.
Super excited.
I'm excited for you guys.
We are really excited for you. I'm so honored that you're pretty much, what is it?
We're popping the cherry?
Exactly.
Yes,
And you read my mind.
Our AfterBuzz cherry.
Your AfterBuzz virginity.
I
love
that.
it.
I'm used to reading minds. No, I'm sorry.
Before we get into tonight's episode, though, do check us out, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, and also on iTunes and SoundCloud. You know, like us, rate, subscribe. We have over 400 after shows on AfterBuzz TV, so binge watch us all day. And of course, this is a show where we can get really into it, you know, make some really cool predictions, so we definitely want your feedback and, you know, some cool conversation. All right, Wayward Pines. This is intense.
Super intense.
This is
Creepy.
crazy.
It was a thriller.
It
was a thriller. It was.
So what are your initial reactions? I mean, this is M. Night Shyamalan's kind of comeback. His first time entering television. Tell me the truth. Do you like it? Do you think it has potential? What do you guys feel?
I think it was great. I absolutely think it has potential. I wasn't sure at first, but I really like how it ended. I didn't expect what was coming at the end of the episode, and I think it was really good so far.
He's good at twists.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really good. I honestly really liked how creepy it was, and it kind of leaves you confused, and you're like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It was a good first episode, for sure.
Definitely.
Especially with the psychologist at the end.
Yes.
Weird.
I thought it was like a
Weird.
Twisted Truman Show. That's what I said in my head. Like,
Yes,
Twisted
so
Truman
true.
Show.
That's exactly.
You know,
So
and,
true.
Yep.
And the one thing I saw, like, it's not my only critique, is that it was like the whole first episode was pretty much what we saw in the trailer, right?
Yeah,
pretty much,
it
if you
was,
watch
yeah.
the trailer, it pretty much was the
No,
entire first
yeah.
episode.
Well, they actually released the first episode before it premiered tonight. I think you and I saw it before
Yeah, I think
tonight.
that's what we saw.
So I think that's probably why. They kind of wanted to get viewers to get really excited.
Get you pumped.
Yeah,
Right.
and hey, I wanted to watch it again because when you watch it, you miss it the first time. You have
Yeah.
to keep rewatching it to get all the clues and stuff. I'm sure we missed some clues that later on when we go in the season, we'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
That's
why.
true. Yeah.
You know?
It'll connect at the end.
Exactly. And a little bit of let's start with a little background on the show. It's actually based on a book
Oh, okay.
by Blake, if I have his name right, Blake Crouch.
Okay.
And he is a huge Twin Peaks fan. Have you guys watched the show Twin
This
Peaks?
gets-
No.
A lot of fans have been saying that this show is very similar to Twin Peaks.
Okay.
And Lost and Prisoner. So a lot of that intertwined. Now, it's not exact. I mean, I guess it's like he was obsessed with Twin Peaks, the author. He got a lot of inspiration from that show.
Did you watch Twin Peaks?
I didn't.
Okay, me neither. Neither did I. But I heard the same comparisons.
But it's a completely different storyline.
Okay.
Sure.
So, and I think it's also interesting that the author writes a couple of episodes himself.
Yeah.
And the author and the main writer, Chad Hodges, really get along. And that doesn't happen
That's good.
in
really
many, television shows where the
Right.
author of a book and then the show writer.
Yeah.
It'll
They
say
see
true.
eye to eye on everything. It normally doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Has anyone read the book?
No.
No.
No,
Maybe we should,
we
though.
should, right?
Let's all have a book club and read it together.
Yeah,
Book
we
club.
should. Yeah, exactly.
That's a bad start. None of us read the book. Uh-oh. I'm like, but
Well,
it's,
at least we
can,
know
though.
who the author is,
Yeah.
and we were talking about it, so that
Right.
counts. Like, give them some credit.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even know it was a book.
I didn't
exactly.
I was like,
yeah.
man, they just made this up.
Out
These
of
guys
nowhere.
are good. These guys are good.
And one more thing, though, this is only 10
Episodes.
episodes.
Yeah.
This isn't a full season.
Right.
So there is a beginning, there's a middle, and an end. We're
But-
going to know in the whole 10 episodes.
Oh, it's
so
not. So is it? Was it? You said a miniseries. Is it a miniseries?
you can call it a
Yeah.
miniseries because it's not a full-out fledged season.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Didn't they do the same thing with like Empire? Wasn't Empire only 10 seasons? 10 episodes for the
episodes.
season?
Well, I know like Secrets and Lies was only 10 episodes, or
Yes.
maybe 13, something like that.
Right.
And then they're bringing Secrets and Lies back, but it's going to be a whole different show. Everyone's going to be different except Juliette Lewis. So they might do the same thing with this. Could be the same.
Exactly.
Like True Detective, right?
Yeah,
Kinda
like
that.
have,
Yes.
have the same
Yeah,
background.
there you go.
So that
Right.
means everyone can probably like die by the last episode.
my
They all
Gosh.
could. Maybe Juliette Lewis will be the only one left in this one too, and then
Oh.
it'll be the same thing.
Could be.
that's-
So let's definitely save these predictions because it could go a
I'm
whole
gonna,
different
I'm gonna predict
track.
everyone's gonna die right now.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna
Great.
start off with
That's
that
his-
prediction.
Great.
Like everyone dies.
You are so peppy
Thank
and
you.
positive.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
I'm
get
so thrilled.
into
Sorry.
what happens when we first start out. We see an eye
Mm-hmm.
opening.
Yeah.
And then we see him with a bloody face, just
Disoriented.
walking in the forest.
Doesn't know where he's at.
Doesn't know where he's at. Exactly. Then we get a flashback scene, though. Kind of goes back to him with a psychologist. And it reveals kind of his past, right? Number one, he's guilty about these Easter bombings. He's guilty about letting a suspect go. And number two, he gets hallucinations. Now, when you heard this, did you think, oh, this whole show could be a hallucination
Yeah.
for Ethan?
I thought it was
Did
like
you?
a bait and switch. Like, okay,
That's
so now we don't know what's really happening. So they
Right.
just set it off from the beginning. Like, okay, hey, maybe he's hallucinating, maybe he's not. So,
Yeah, I was thinking that at first, but I don't think that's how
oh yeah, me
gonna
neither.
It's too
Yeah.
easy, right?
Too easy.
Yeah.
It was just just to let us know, just to
It
probably mess with our
could,
brain.
But
It
it's a,
could.
it's a little bit of a, steering us towards a different way, which they want.
Right.
Even throughout the show, I was a little confused because when we saw the beginning with the psychiatrist, and he said he had hallucinations and whatnot, I was like, does he really have hallucinations? Or is I don't know, is
Yeah.
he okay? Or maybe he is normal and it's just,
That's a good point. Because he actually asked him, he was like, what do you mean by hallucinations?
yeah.
So he probably didn't even know himself.
I don't know. It's a little.
That's definitely
it's a
up in
little
the air.
creepy,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's there. And then Ethan, pretty much, we see him, he ends up in Wayward Pines, Idaho, and that's when he collapses.
Yeah, right. When he goes into was like a cafe.
Yeah, he goes into the cafe,
Cafe.
and
He's like,
he's
you're
like,
in Wayward Pines.
duh.
I was like, what? And he just faints. Yeah.
Yeah, he just literally just collapses there. And then we see the scene of him in the hospital.
Oh, that was great.
Okay.
And we meet the weirdest character, creepiest, but she's a genius in terms of her acting.
Nurse
Yeah.
Pam.
Who do we meet, guys?
Nurse Pam.
And what were your thoughts on her? Like, I'd want her as a nurse when I'm sick.
Yeah.
She seems really nice though. Like she's kind of like your grandma, and then you're
No.
like, wait,
Yeah.
she's got a little
twist.
creepiness about her.
Yeah.
But she
It-
seems kind of nice.
Yeah.
Scary, you guys. She's
I
scary.
love how you're on her side. Even after the whole needle incident, you're still
Yeah, well, I mean, at the beginning, you
Yeah.
didn't really know. And her name's Pam. She's just
Yeah.
sweet.
Pam is a nice name.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
No way.
She had too many, like, every question he had, an answer for it.
Right.
It was like, where's the phone? We don't have phones here. Like, we don't want to bother you. Like, okay, why am I here? Like, there's no one here. He always had a peppy, scary answer. Like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
That
Where's my
kinda-
stuff? The sheriff has it. Oh,
exactly.
you're fine.
Don't
You're
worry about
fine.
it.
Exactly. And I love how when she was like, if you ever need me, just touch that black button.
Touch
I'll be
that
right
button.
here.
He
Yeah.
was like, yes, Captain. Yes, Captain.
Yeah, like she definitely drank the Kool-Aid, the Wayward
Yes.
Pines Kool-Aid.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. So she was
Maybe she
definitely creepy
orchestrated it.
and
Maybe she could be behind everything.
Maybe she is Wayward Pines. Maybe she's
maybe
Miss
she
Pines.
is Wayward
That's a
Pines.
twist.
She's the mayor
She's
of
probably
Wayward
the
Pines.
only one at that hospital. If you
Well,
really
that's
think
what the
about
thing
it,
is. He
right?
was suspect. He's like, where the hell is everyone else in
Right.
here? And she just
Yes.
avoids the question.
No.
She doesn't want to
She's
even
like
get into
the
it.
only person in that whole place.
Yeah.
It's
Well, there was some guy on like the security camera. You see that?
I didn't-
No.
Oh,
There's like-
oh, look at that.
There was
You
some
saw
guy on the
something.
security camera.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, it was
Oh, I
real
didn't catch
brief
that.
when he was trying to run out with Juliette Lewis.
Oh.
Maybe I'm wrong. You guys didn't even
No,
see it.
I'm
So
not-
who,
no,
who
no,
knows?
Maybe you're hallucinating.
Maybe I'm hallucinating now. Yeah.
But what's happening? This show's crazy.
Now I drank the Kool-Aid.
So, and then she kind of reveals, he's like, how did I end up here? And she says that you had a car accident. And that's when we go to the flashback of him remembering, oh yeah, I was in the car with another agent. His name completely slipped my mind.
Isn't it Sterling or
Was that Sterling? Okay.
something like that?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot.
And
Last name was Sterling, I think.
So,
I didn't write it down.
We
pretty
don't
much
know.
we get some little bit more backstory. Like, okay, he's trying to find these two missing agents
Right.
in Wayward Pines, which makes us realize, okay, that's why he's here, number one. And number 2...
Well, I don't think he was looking for Wayward Pines. I think
he
the
was
trail...
looking for the agents.
Yeah, the trail led there, and I think the closer he got, that's when...
Okay. See, I was a little confused there. So he wasn't supposed to go to Wayward Pines.
Yeah.
Was he just on his way there, like on his way to wherever?
Yeah, the trail led there, and then I guess when they were driving that direction, or maybe I'm wrong.
Do we know why the agents were there in the first place? The first agents? We don't know.
No, we don't know that.
Okay.
But I think it's Beverly's kind of backstory, which we'll get into a little bit later. She also had an accident,
right?
So I feel like these 2 agents were not meant to go to Wayward Pines; they just ended up there, and it's part of some bigger plot, some bigger scheme. Even when Ethan was in the car with the agent, and they had that accident, I think that was a planned accident.
It was definitely
completely.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no way he wouldn't just end up in Wayward Pines for no reason. There's a reason for everything. Yeah. So we kind of get that little backstory, and then we kind of get a shot to meeting Ethan's wife and the son.
Yeah.
Do you guys kind of notice how when they were shooting inside Wayward Pines and outside, the different kind of coloring and cinematography that they used?
Was it like darker?
I feel like Wayward, when they were shooting inside Wayward Pines, it was kind of a little bit grungy and dark.
Creepier and
creepy pretty much, but it's a little bit brighter. Maybe that's just me, but I think they probably did that on purpose.
Yeah. I would think it'd be the other way around. Like they're trying to make Wayward Pines look all bright and...
Okay, no, I think Nurse Camp's smile and her creepiness is bright.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, they probably wanted to, because it's a cover up, so everyone has to be like, oh, it's beautiful. Like when he finds the other agent, she's like, oh, hi, you can really like it here, pies and cookies, Like, oh, all right, this is kind of weird,
So, what do you guys think about the whole scene when the wife and the son? I think the wife was pretty much trying to find. What do you think of the wife? It was just kind of dull to me.
Yeah, I thought
that
was
interesting
too.
I always love that actress because she's from A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger, and she's always good, so I like her.
Yeah. Well, the wife and son didn't have. I mean,
they didn't do much.
They didn't do much. They were obviously like a big part of his life because it's his wife and son.
They're married,
and you can tell that he's a really good dad by the flashbacks. But I mean, I feel like we still have a lot to learn about them because it was just kind of. The son was just like, oh, where's dad? Like, and he seems kind of like sketched out. Like, tell me when you're lying. I know that something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As if like he knows that something happened with his parents. So I don't know. There could be something with that there.
Yeah. He brought fish tacos. I noticed that.
Yeah. She ate like one little bite of it.
I know. That was weird,
like,
right? Like, oh, fish taco. Like, did you take the fish out of the taco and put it in
like
your
a
mouth?
pinch?
Yeah. I've never seen that before either.
No.
I think she
It's a plot. It's a plan. Maybe it's part of the whole thing.
She was definitely nervous. So that she definitely had her husband on her mind because she probably thought that, oh my God, is he with?
Yeah, and we didn't know
Kate,
that yet.
with Kate.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't know that then, but now we can think, okay, maybe she's really suspecting like what's going on. He's not answering his calls.
Well, before the flashback with Kate,
Yeah.
I already had a feeling that that something was going on between them.
I missed that. Yeah.
When when the wife was like, getting a little bit
Right.
nervous. I don't know why, but I just had this feeling that
There you go. Yeah.
there was maybe like an affair or something was going on between Ethan and Kate. for
Right.
sure.
Well, especially when she was talking to the son and he was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "You're so nosy." Like it just seemed like he knew what was happening with his parents.
The only creepy thing the wife and son did to me was that weird blowing the candle scene. That was just so weird to me. Like he's like in
so
the
you're
camera.
referring to the later on when they show the flashback of the son making a birthday wish.
Yeah.
And he wished that his parents wouldn't separate.
Yeah, that was.
But
that was
it was a nice touching scene, but then where they were, they're just in the middle
It was
of
a very weird.
Lawn.
He had a blindfold
They
on,
were
and
at
I
the park.
expected some big thing to
like
happen.
a big party.
I thought he was gonna get a car, guys.
It's just the mom and the
Yeah.
dad.
And then it was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
thought it was a car too.
here's a cake.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm
in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
No one's there. Like here.
Maybe there's more of an explanation to that. Maybe he liked being in isolated lawns
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
a creepy guy.
And they were eating a cake just right off the candle.
I know.
In the park.
No, there's no picnic table.
No.
No knives. Nothing.
No
No
plate.
plastic knives.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So we're just gonna do it like this.
It was a little,
This is how we
like
are.
Party.
We're gonna
It was
improvise like
strange.
this.
or maybe he was at work. Ethan was at work, and they met the
Oh,
dad
yeah?
Okay.
by the park.
All right.
He does
Yeah,
seem like
that's
he works
true.
a lot.
Yeah.
That's true. We're gonna have to keep tuning in to find out.
We're gonna tune in to find out why they ate the cake in the park. That's like the
So-
biggest mystery in this whole show.
I know, right? Why the hell were they in the lawn with nothing around them?
Yeah.
It's because the show's so creepy. I mean, everything's isolated.
Yeah.
So
Done.
okay, then we see Ethan. He wants to just get the hell out of that hospital, and I don't blame him. When Nurse Pam is like, being Nurse Pam. So
Yeah.
she's trying to stop him. He's like, just get out of me, bitch.
Ah.
Sorry, bleep. Bleh. And she holds the elevator door.
That was a
She's
creepy
like-
scene
That was
too.
very
That was so
strange
dramatic
and
because she was-
dramatic. Yes,
She was like,
she was forceful too.
she's like, I'm worried about you.
That was weird when she said, "I'm worried about you."
What do you think of that?
I thought it was like kind of like a subtle hint about how like Juliette Lewis is kind of trying to tell him, you know, get out of here. And she was like, "I'm worried about you," and then let the door close. So it kind of seemed to me like she was trying to tell him something. But I don't know because she is so creepy and she's so invested in Wayward Pines. So I don't know. It could be.
I thought she had a good level of intimidation. For a woman who's that small, like when she held it, like if she was a guy, I would have expected a fight scene. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna punch him in the face. But she just looked him in the face, and she had this aura about her that I was like, wow, she might win this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she let them leave, I was like, okay. But she has this level of like, there's more than meets the eye to her.
She's Nurse Pam.
She's
I mean,
Nurse Pam. Nurse Pam's running
And she's
something.
a wonderful actress, Melissa Leo. She's an Academy Award winner, and she has so many dimensions to her.
Yeah, she's
very talented.
she's a monster.
But even when we
Figured it.
see her later on in the hospital, you know, going after him.
Oh, when she switches it immediately when she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna help you."
Yes,
I'll
and then
put
that's
this
what I'm
rug-
saying. She's like, for being such like a little lady,
A little
Yeah.
skinny,
she's like
petite lady, yeah.
scary and
Passive-aggressive.
Yeah,
Her-
aggressive.
She did that in the fighter too. Like in the fighter, then she
Which she
played
won
very
an award
aggressive.
for, yeah.
She played very aggressive. She has that fight in her.
Right.
It's that aggressiveness voice.
Yeah.
So, well, he manages to leave, no matter how aggressive she is. And that's when he ends up at the beer garden in a bar. And we meet Beverly, played by Juliette Lewis. And that's when we finally see a normal person in Wayward Pines. Did you think, though, that she was pretending to be normal, or was she actually normal? When you first met her, what were your initial reactions?
I didn't trust her. I didn't trust anybody.
Yeah,
You can't trust anyone.
But I thought the first girl that he met before he fainted was kind of
She
normal.
was fine.
She seemed
was
the most
like,
normal.
Like a typical young 20s.
Like,
yeah,
Wayward
duh.
Pines. That's pretty normal.
It is.
But yeah, I thought Juliet was kind of. I thought she was. I didn't trust her.
I didn't trust her either. I felt like she knew that
Yeah.
something was happening, or
Well, clearly, yeah,
I
she
mean,
does, too.
obviously knows, but I feel like she saw him come in and was like, oh, like I know he's new. There's something going on, you know.
I thought the same. I thought that she was gonna be on his team, though. I thought that initially because she was a little bit intrigued, like, who is he? What are you here for? But she was kind of excited too, like, oh, this could be someone who could help me get out of this town.
Someone that I can talk to. I thought I like trusted her at first, and then when she led him to that house with the corpse in it, I mean, like I got it afterwards because it was the agent, but I was like, why would she lead him to a house with a corpse? Like it was just
Right.
like she kind of weirded me out after that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like she's trustworthy.
I
think she's
I
trustworthy.
think the first clue that gives us is that when she leaves a note for Ethan,
Right.
On the first half of it, it says the address. She put it off as her address, but the back of the note,
The crickets.
where they're saying there are no crickets in Wayward Pines.
That was pretty cool. That was a really
That
cool little
that what reminded me of the Truman Show, how everything
Yeah.
is so
manufactured.
manufactured. That's the word.
Thank you.
Thank you for filling in my sentences tonight.
No, that's what I'm here
Michael.
for. No, but yeah, it was so like when she went there and you just immediately heard the crickets and then he put his hand and he just brought out
like
like a
a
little
box.
recording.
That is just so creepy. It's like, where am I? That everything is just, like you said, man-made and
Yeah.
planned.
Everything
You know,
down to the
it's-
crickets chirping.
Yeah.
Then obviously,
I
if
know.
that is planned,
I thought that was a cool kind
Everything
of scene they added in.
Yeah,
You know? Like, you
Yeah.
wouldn't think of
But why no
that
crickets?
clue.
Well, that's how we know that Wayward
Yeah, why
Pines
can't-
isn't normal.
Why
Like,
can't they can't have
right.
insects?
how do they get all the crickets out of Wayward Pines?
maybe-
I'm sure there's
yeah.
some naturally.
Well,
or maybe
That's,
not.
that's
well, I mean, we do go in the very, very end. I mean, not to get too far ahead, we do see where when they pan out, it looks like it's in a
Like a little-
volcano or in a canyon or something.
It's like
Right.
a dome.
So
Right.
maybe there's no nature. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think of, I feel like I've seen this something before where it was a man-made place.
Biodome
no
with
nature.
Pauly Shore. No, I'm playing. I don't know.
Am I?
So, that's a really old movie. Sorry, but it was man-made. All right.
Yeah, well, I guess if you guys have any, thoughts, just let us know.
Yes, please.
In the comments, because
Yes, if you know
If you
anything,
know.
We're
any
so
thoughts
confused.
Tell us.
guys. Yeah.
that's compelling you to tell us, please.
And then we also find out that he cannot get through to his wife. Mm-hmm. He tries calling, and that's another clue. Something is being shut out
Right.
of having incoming calls and outgoing
Yeah, see, that's what I found the
But-
most crazy. That's what I was wondering. I
Yeah.
was like, how is he? Because he's getting her voicemail,
Right.
but it's not getting there.
But when he calls the Secret Service, right?
Okay,
They picked up? Or-
Yeah. So later on, he called the Secret Service.
Right.
I thought it was Nurse
Me
Pam's
too. Me too.
voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
no,
too.
I
Me
didn't
too.
see that.
think
Me
about
too.
it's-
I saw that too. Yeah.
I never
It's
thought
her.
that.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
not. It's Nurse
It
Pam.
sounded exact. That's what I thought of.
That's
okay.
why it was weird the way the lady was responding to her, to him, and she was just like, "No, he's
Oh my
not
God.
around."
It's Nurse Pam.
It was
Definitely
Nurse Pam.
Nurse
It was
Pam.
Pam's running it.
So whoever, I guess it's probably some other woman answering.
She's an
his
entrepreneur.
wife's-
She runs the hospital and the operator and she's an operator.
She runs
Wow,
the place.
girl.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even think
She's
about
just
that.
really creepy.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about her, like her face. That's,
Like,
oh my
You know what
God.
else I
yeah.
just saw, okay, on my notes, but when she said, you know, there's no crickets in Wayward Pines, and before that, he was like, don't you believe me? And she goes, I always believed you. What does that mean? I always believed you? Like, does she know who he...
Okay, you're just catching all that. Good.
Yeah, that's pretty
so you
good.
said
Right?
you noticed this when they were in the bar.
This was in the bar, right
When she
before
said him
she
in-
said
Ah.
the crickets were chirping. He said, do you
Yeah.
believe me? You don't believe me. And she said, I always believed you.
Because she's watching the whole thing.
So she just knows, like...
Everyone's probably watching him from the beginning, from the moment he entered till just like the Truman Show.
Yeah.
This is
Wow.
more than the Truman Show than it is Twin Peaks.
huh. I pointed that out too, by the way.
So that's a good point.
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think he's being watched.
There's a lot of, like you said in the beginning, a lot of little things that, I mean, I would have to watch it like 6 times
Yeah.
to catch everything.
Exactly. Which is probably why they released it before the premiere, because they knew we were going to be confused.
Right.
So we find that he goes to the address that she gave him, and it's an old rundown abandoned house that's been there for I don't know how long. Maybe they made it look. How could it be there for?
Maybe that was just like a house that was there before Wayward Pines existed.
Well, wait a minute.
It could be, and then we find that
The-
first agent that he was supposed to look for,
Yeah.
and he's dead. He's a dead body. There's like flies and
he's
rats
on a
eating
he's
him.
like on
real
a bed,
dead.
right? On a
Yeah,
bed.
he got tortured.
Yeah, he was tortured. He was
He probably was tortured by Nurse Pam.
Probably.
Probably.
Like,
But
It was her.
So that's the one that came with the female agent,
with
right?
Kate.
It was
Yes.
Evans and Kate, right?
So it turns
Kate
out,
and Bill.
Yeah.
Kate and Bill,
Evans.
yes.
Okay, so it turns out Kate's been there a long time. I mean, later on we found out that. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump, but I mean, it's only because it has something to do with the body.
you go ahead.
No, Kate.
You go ahead.
Don't get mad.
So Kate's been. So later on, it finds out like Kate says she's been there for like 12 years or something.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
But
I was
the-
gonna get to that.
But if that body,
You
that
know?
body's been there for 12 years. Shouldn't it be more decomposed?
Right.
It looks a little more new than 12
No,
years.
But she's not there.
Well, she's
for
not there
12
for
years.
She's not there for
She was
they're
only there
all
for
in this,
5
they're all in
weeks.
this
Yeah, but she's
illusion that it's a
older
time
though. She's
lapse.
older.
She just
grew her hair.
No,
yeah.
figuratively, like, because if you notice when you first see her, her skin is smooth. They had the makeup over it to try and make her look younger. But when you see her,
And he did say something about
yeah,
that.
she's more aged.
He did, but they can't. It's
But
not
then
like
he-
they're
they're
going
manufacturing it.
forward in time or anything.
They're stuck in some type of time warp. But if she's,
It
because
is
she's
a time warp. That's what I think.
because she's aged. So if she's aged, then that means he's been there for a while.
Because
Right.
Beverly also made a comment, which we'll get to in just when we go along, that she has been there
For 1
It was
year.
her 1 year anniversary, and she got there 1999, and
It's only
Ethan's like,
2000?
it's 2014. What is she talking about? And he passes out. So,
He passes out.
so we
Everyone's been there for.
Everyone's confused.
Everyone's confused how long
because
they've been there.
Wayward Pines breaks your minds, guys. Break your mind right now. All right, think of it. Be realistic. They're only there for like.
But she aged. She aged.
I don't
Maybe
think
she
so.
probably had to take some pill or something.
They didn't age. I mean, she has to have aged, right? I mean,
She
'cause-
still looked young and good to
I know
me.
she still looks young,
The
but I mean,
corpse-
but in the story,
Well,
Yeah.
everyone around her, he looks at her and he's like, "You
Well,
aged."
it makes sense because she thought she was there for 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
and he's like, "You've only been here for 5 weeks."
She's like, I saw you 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. But that would make sense for the decomposing body because that
Right.
looks like more of a 5-week. I mean, there were flies around it still.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, it would be like.
It looks
like,
new.
True.
Right.
I
doesn't
think
look
they
like
made
it's
up
been
the
there
whole,
for
I think,
12 years.
Exactly. They just
did look
put
gross.
it to make it look like it's been there for years.
Yeah.
And
I thought-
her aging will clarify in the later episode, but she has not been there for 12 years, so relax.
All right,
Do
we'll-
not
we'll
let
find-
Wayward Pines break your mind. So after he sees the body, he's like, crap, like, the agent's dead. I'm next, pretty much. I think that's what he's thinking. And then, my favorite scene in the whole show, I think it's the climax, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Which one?
But he goes to the sheriff's.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I have one question for you guys. Do you like rum raisin?
I love raisin.
I had to say that.
I
That
love
was
rum
corny,
raisin.
but I had to
Do you
do
like
that.
rum raisin?
I actually grown up with rum raisins. It's always in my house.
Really?
That's real. Yeah.
What?
I've
Terrence
actually
Howard.
never had rum raisin.
It's
So-
really good ice cream.
Side-
just lies.
Side note,
Haagen-Dazs rum raisins.
Can I just
if
say,
you wanna,
Terrence Howard, first of all, got his big fame from Empire. Well, he's always been famous, but got a little bit more noticed on television for Empire. And they got pretty lucky because they started this before Empire, so it's like, you know, great. We have
Did
a
they
big
start
face.
this before Empire?
I saw this, and they approached him before he kind of had his big episodes on TV. I have a little side note that he's actually eating ice cream in every single episode.
No.
So I don't know if it's rum raisin in every episode, but he's
Probably.
definitely eating ice cream. And even though they had to do so many takes, he's still eating the ice cream completely in each take. You know
I
how
know.
actors
He
like
loves
don't
it.
eat it?
Yeah.
So that was just like something funny that like Terrence is like, yeah, I
He's
love my
getting
ice
all
cream.
the money right now, Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
To eat ice cream.
Well, yeah.
His name's Arnold Pope. Sheriff Arnold
Yeah.
Pope.
So Sheriff Arnold Pope is sitting there eating his ice cream.
Yes.
And
I love him. Well, I mean,
Right?
I shouldn't like him, but I like
He's
him.
so
He's
funny.
so
what do you like about him? What were
He's
you
just
intrigued?
he's a character. He's funny.
He's owning those scenes too.
Yeah,
Like,
and
he's all over.
I mean,
it.
I love ice cream. He likes ice cream.
Yeah.
I like how he was mocking Ethan.
Yes.
Like just
Yeah.
sitting there like, oh, look
He's
who's
leaning back.
arrived.
He was like, "Oh, I heard that my clothes were here," and he's like, "Where'd you get that idea?" Like, he just didn't even care.
He's like, oh,
cared more-
decomposing body.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell me
yeah.
more
I should
about
go with
that.
you.
Exactly.
It's
No.
okay. You don't have to.
I don't
Yeah.
want you to go.
Yeah,
with
don't
me.
go with me.
Do you guys watch Empire though?
Oh yeah, I watch it.
So he kind of
I
is
don't
like
watch.
handling two different towns, right? One in
Yeah.
Empire, one in here. He's like kind of that boss
He's gonna have
figure.
so much work, unless he doesn't make it by the end of this year. In Wayward Pines.
And Wayward Pines.
I hope
Not
he
the other
makes it.
one.
He's my
Oh,
favorite one.
I know. I think he will. He's too confident and cocky and,
Yeah.
and funny to not make it for sure.
That's
So-
good. That's good. He's working.
And he's a sheriff, so he must be doing something right in the town.
Right. And I love how he's pretending to care when Ethan was kind of giving him notes about this missing agent. He's like, all right, like what's you know,
Yeah.
He
describe her
probably
to me.
wasn't writing it down either.
Oh,
I
no.
think he was just like,
He was just like,
what?
Screw this
I
guy.
do not care.
designing
Yeah.
rum raisin flavors.
Yeah, right? Well, what ice cream do I want tomorrow?
Cookies and cream. Oh yeah. So he's dead, huh? Oh really? You know?
But I'm interested to kind of see the dynamic between Arnold Pope and Ethan in the next few episodes. They're definitely going to be the big adversaries to each other. So that should be interesting. And then we kind of get a little bit of another scene of we see, I think they're in a car shop, the detectives, and they
right.
showed a clip of him, pretty much
car.
the car.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Oh.
investigating in the car, and they're saying there's no evidence of Ethan being in the car. No trace of DNA, no hair follicle or anything, which is so creepy. Just so weird. How could that be?
I thought they said that they. Oh, never mind. You are right. I was thinking about that other agent,
Did I miss
the one that died.
the
Oh, yeah.
part? Okay, I know they got into a car accident, but do we know what happened? Like what they hit? Or
No, the other truck hit
Was
it
it-
face on. I think it was.
Oh,
like-
was it
yeah.
another car that?
The truck.
I just happened so fast that I was.
Yeah. It was a quick. Yeah, it was a quick scene.
So we don't really know what happened to the other agent, and we don't
it-
know why.
Yeah.
They pretty much made it look like he's never existed in
Right.
that car.
Exactly. They're trying to break the minds of the wife and the son and of Ethan inside.
You're all over this mind.
I
pretty much
it is.
everyone's mind.
It
is
is mind
getting
blowing.
broken.
We're
Mind.
mind blown.
Yeah,
But I love being mind blown.
I know.
My mind's not blown
It opens
just
up
yet.
her. Okay.
It's not.
Not yet.
It's not just yet.
Okay, my mind is too easily blown.
I mean,
Right.
it's, you know.
Okay, let's talk about something. Talking about blowing right now. Because that's a
Okay.
little bit too inappropriate. Am I right? Or maybe I just said that. Wait, what?
Uh,
Okay.
You made it a little inappropriate.
Let's keep moving on here.
So then we get the scene of Ethan on the phone. That's which is why we hear Nurse Pam's voice.
Yes.
I can't believe that's.
I think it was
That's
her.
her.
I think it was her because
Well,
it
now
sounded as eerie.
It had to be
as,
too, because how would he have gotten through to the secret? There's no way.
There's
right.
no way.
So-
Exactly.
And he
exactly.
couldn't get through to his wife.
So okay, and then we see him entering the bar, and he's trying to find Beverly again, but there's no Beverly.
Right.
The
And he
guy, the guy that was there at this, or when we go back to the bar, he said he worked there, right?
Yeah.
And he's the only one.
said there were
or
two guys.
people
Yeah.
that
Him and
worked there.
this other girl or guy.
There's another guy.
Another
Steve.
guy.
Yeah. And me and Steve.
Steve.
Which
But-
I thought by that point when I first watched it that possibly they killed Beverly because
Yeah.
she revealed too much about the
Right.
town.
Right. I was just confused. I thought he was hallucinating, or maybe I was just hallucinating at that point. I have no idea what was going on. But when he's like, Beverly, who's that? Like, she doesn't work here.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what to expect
Yeah.
at that point.
I figured. I thought they captured her, or the fact that she told him, because she was so quick to give him the information.
Which is crazy because if she says that they're always watching, and everyone has said that they're always watching, so how does she get away with sneaking him out of a hospital and doing all
I
these
know,
things?
right?
There's something going on with her.
Well, she was wearing the hoodie. and I don't know.
She was wearing the
So
hoodie.
maybe
That's
we
true.
can't trust her.
Unless there are certain places and angles where they know how to get around by not being watched. Who
Right.
knows? Who knows?
Well, also in the bar scene when he punched him and he went to the ground, he said 10, 16, 28 is not doing well. So like,
Exactly.
is that
Yeah.
like his agent
So
number?
each person, I think they identified each person as a number.
Okay. See, I was thinking
Which
that was
makes
like
it
his
more
Secret Service
robotic.
agent number or something, and they all knew, but that makes more sense. So.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
No,
Everyone has their
So
own
they just
name.
know everyone's number?
It's like a
Like, they memorize?
robotic, something robotic. It's like a very
Right.
robotic feel to it. I don't know what it is, but that will definitely be revealed in the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Well, he's fresh. He's a fresh new patient, so they probably already know his like he's probably the main guy that everyone's really focused on right now.
Right,
And
exactly.
he's the only one running around trying to answer questions, going crazy. So they're like, 10, 16, 28. We're
Right.
on to you, because he was clearly planted there.
Yeah.
The guy who knocked him out.
They're also keeping track though of who comes in, who enters. That's his tracking number.
That could be the tracking number.
So then again, he falls. He's always falling. He's always collapsing in the show, and he ends up again in the hospital. But this time we see Dr. Jenkins. What do you think of this little creepy little mole guy?
This guy
He reminded
always
me of like someone who'd be in Harry Potter. Or
Yeah.
something
he
like
does
that.
look
Right?
Like Wormtail.
Wormtail.
okay. Harry Potter.
Right?
reference.
He was like just like
Yeah.
a little wormy dude. Like,
He's
right.
he plays the evil doctor in Captain America too. He played an evil
okay.
German doctor, but it's pretty much he looks exactly the same. Glass look exactly the same. So I'm like, this guy really held on to that doctor market, boy.
Yeah, he was a little creepy.
Yeah.
Do you think he has a soft side for Ethan?
No.
No.
I don't know.
He's
I
maniacal.
think so.
You think so?
Really? Well, I feel like later on when we see him,
Yeah, no.
again, there's no way.
No, he's
And
got
he
no.
says, "Oh yeah, he didn't ever have any sympathy towards it."
I see supervillain. I
the
see
only
I
reason-
evil genius.
The only reason why I think so is because I saw the future trailers and he's like
Wow.
trying to help.
Did he?
Oops.
Oops.
Maybe I'm
Spoiler.
wrong though. Maybe he's just trying to pretend to be on his side. But I think
Maybe
he's
pretending.
Yeah, everyone
You know
is
what?
pretending.
Okay, I got a prediction, but I'll save it.
Oh no, yeah, let's have predictions.
So he's locked into the bed, and I found that part crazy because they're like, they were gonna do surgery on you. He's like, you can't do this without my consent.
Well,
like,
I
no,
think-
we're gonna have to.
We won't let you talk to the surgeon, and we won't let you call the people in Boise or whatever.
They wanted to kill him pretty much.
Yeah.
They wanted to just kill him right there and then.
I think they're gonna do. No, I think they wanted to give him a frontal lobotomy and make him dumber so they can control him.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
That's what you said
Interesting.
before.
Yeah, that's what I was like
Interesting.
thinking because when we found out Beverly, Beverly said that she was in a car crash too. I just feel like maybe they're going in and like doing something to their
implanting
head.
something like a chip, maybe, or like
Or-
doing something crazy.
Yeah, or maybe like erasing their memory or something, and then when they come back, they're like, "Oh, this happened
Yeah.
to you." Putting all
Changing
these
up the
new,
brain.
putting
That's
all
a
these
great
new ideas in their
hypothesis.
heads.
That's good. That could be. That's
good.
That's a good one. Yeah, I actually didn't think about that. So then, they're about to do the surgery, and then next thing you know, he's just lying there, and Beverly shows up in a hood, and she's trying to save him.
Wait. Let's talk about the.
Oh, I'm so
Nurse
sorry.
Pam.
Nurse
We got
Pam's
to.
back.
We have to. We have to talk about Nurse Pam.
Tell us what happened.
Oh no, Nurse Pam tries to be nice. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you this little shot. He's like, and he starts struggling. No, I gotta get out of here. She's like, come on. He's like, no, I will stick this. What she said, I'm gonna go as hard until it hits bone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, and she turned on a dime.
She just went at it then.
And she
And
just went for it too.
Like,
It
Everyone,
I don't
we
care.
all flinched. We all were like, oh,
was-
Yeah.
She's a little.
firecracker.
She is. She's scary. I'm not gonna lie. If I have
I
a
have to-
nightmare, it's gonna be her tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah.
Maybe I'll dress
scared
up
me.
like her for Halloween. That'll be a good
That
combination.
she might do some more things this season that will make you
Exactly.
People will be like, "Are
Definitely
you
be
a
her.
nurse?" You're gonna be like, "I'm Nurse Pam.
I'm Nurse
I'm not just a nurse."
with a big old syringe right
Yeah,
here.
right.
Exactly.
Like, I'm
So-
Nurse Pam.
So we see Beverly trying to help, and the next thing we know, she's like coming at them. Where are you, Ethan? I love the whole like echoing effect too. I thought that was pretty cool, like the way they shot it, of her voice. The next thing you know, he's hiding in the bathroom, punches his glass mirror, and then he pretty much. Oh, I'm trying to like
Yeah.
opens the door and
Andy
stabs
was
her,
like,
right?
No,
Yeah.
he
He
just-
like pushes her.
Kind of
Yeah.
stabs her because there's
No, he
blood
just
on
he
her
just
face.
he just elbowed her. He just hit her very very hard from the
Okay,
back and
I
slammed
wish
her
he
into
It
the
stabbed
looked
her.
to me like he
Into the
stabbed
glass.
her.
'Cause he had
but
the
then
glass.
once you saw her marks, it was like
It wasn't that much of a
very
stab.
football-y, very linebackerish. Forearm
And
to
he
the
was
back of the neck.
really out of it in days. Like he had a good hit for
I know.
how like almost like sedated he was.
Exactly. So that's where we have Beverly leaving him in the abandoned house,
Yeah.
saying you'll be safe here. And that's when we get her some of her backstory about
being there for a year.
Right.
It's 1999?
Right.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
only been there for
She was there because she was there
Unless
to
she
work
just-
on Y2K.
Right.
Yeah, she was sales rep.
Yeah.
Right. Unless she's just forced to say that. So who knows? Again, we get more of the wife and Hassler, Agent Hassler and the wife. She's worried. Hassler's like, listen, there's no trace of him. And that's when she's like, crap, is he with her? Meaning Kate. And then
That's
next
when I
thing
think-
you
that's
know,
when I thought
we
that-
get to the
See Kate.
scene where we see Kate, and she's looking gorgeous. I have a shout out to Carla Gugino.
I love Carla
She's
Gugino.
such a
She's
good actress.
beautiful.
She's
So
probably one of my
beautiful.
favorite characters, I think, because she's so complex. She has to, appear as I'm hiding something, but I'm not. It's very Stepford Wives.
And
kind
she did
of
a great
attitude.
job too when she's like at the picnic. You would
Yeah.
never know that she like didn't want to be there.
But you could see that you could see that she noticed him.
Oh,
And
completely.
you saw the wheels churning
Yep.
in her head, but she
Yep.
was completely faking it. I was like,
Exactly.
Wow, she's good
It's just like she
and
woke.
sexy.
That's true. It's like she woke up from her dream, and she saw him.
Yeah.
And she wants to leave immediately, but he follows her. So what do you think of the whole conversation between them two?
It was creepy.
It was very creepy,
Like when
right?
she was
She
giving him
was
the
so
wide-eyed smile. You can be happy
Right.
here.
But I'm glad she did give him like the hint. She didn't just say, "You can be very happy here. I love it." Like she let him know that she still knows what's going on, even though she's under whatever they're doing to her.
And aged.
Right.
And
That's when we
Yeah.
find out that she says, I've been here for 12
Right.
years.
Like, I saw you
Exactly.
5
weeks
weeks,
ago.
5
Right.
5 weeks.
Exactly.
What's happening? I don't understand.
So she's living an alternative life with some husband she doesn't love, and
You don't know she don't love him. 12 years is a long
What's his
time.
name? Howard or something?
Howard, yes.
She, 'cause what, did,
she's still in love with Ethan.
what did she say to him? Like, what did she say? She said that you're gonna get me and Howard in danger. She said his name. If you're only thinking, if you were
Michael,
thining about
shush.
him, that's what happens. Like,
She's still in love
me
with Ethan.
and
I know
Howard.
that.
Poor
But I don't
Howard. She
want them
loves
to be
Howard.
in love because he has a wife
Yeah.
and a child.
Oh, I kind of like them together. It's sexy.
So you're for adultery. Okay. Well, see, we're understanding
we
one
know.
The
another.
wife's boring, anyways.
You know, it's one episode.
I'm not for adultery. Always be loyal to your wife and your significant other. I'm
Unless
just
you're
saying in
boring.
the show.
Right.
Unless you're
And your son
boring.
blows
Right.
the candle into the camera.
So yes, that scene was intense. It was interesting. She revealed that people were always watching, and
There was a camera in the fan.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
That's when we noticed
So
that.
that's when Ethan was like, "Okay, so I need to get out of here."
Yeah.
And he steals a car.
and he tries to get
know.
out, and the sign says, "Leave Wayward Pines and you die." Like just
Well, first of all, he goes in circles because it's like,
Right.
well,
Well,
leaving Wayward Pines. Welcome to Wayward Pines.
Yeah.
Leaving
Yeah.
Wayward Pines. He's like, okay. So he stops in the middle of the road. He goes into the forest, and that's when he
just
sees the
runs,
fence.
yeah.
and he sees the sign.
And it was like so blunt. You pass here, you die.
You
And
will
this
die.
fence
Yeah.
is not just like any fence, you guys, right?
Right.
It's like this massive, like
Massive.
lit up,
Yeah.
Like
scary.
Great
Jurassic
Wall of
Park.
China.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that shot of the
It's a
bird's eye
volcano.
view.
It's a volcano, right? I mean, I'm thinking
It
volcano.
looked like it.
It looked
I
like
mean,
they were in, yeah.
but they might not be in a volcano because they were.
They just
they'll
look like
erupt.
they look like they're
I
in like
know.
the middle of the mountain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With
It
no
was just
crickets,
placed there.
apparently.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
crickets.
The only part of the mountain with no nature.
Right outside the wall, though, there's crickets.
Probably. Perhaps little
We need to
electrical.
find out what's
I
going
don't know.
on.
Security
And
guard
then-
for crickets.
And then we see a twist, which M. Night Shyamalan is known for doing twists. We see Seattle, which is where Ethan's from. Hassler is standing outside in the rain, and Dr. Jenkins comes up. And Hassler's like,
What?
call it off.
Yeah.
Call what off? And Jenkins is like, it's done.
Late.
So this is when we know that
He's in
this
on
is
it.
planned.
Yeah.
This was all planned.
Well, I
don't
didn't think
know
it was
why,
a Secret
where.
Service thing until that moment.
Yeah, I
and now
didn't either.
obviously it is, but
So his boss, it's his boss, right? He was behind it all, or we think. We
Yeah.
don't know.
could be.
He's, yeah. Well, we're about to go in predictions in just a minute. But pretty much Ethan is stopped by the police.
By good old Terrence
Comes
Howard.
Terrence. Is there a problem here?
Yeah.
And Ethan's like,
Like,
Yeah, how do I get out of
How
here?
do I get out of here?
And then Terrence goes, you don't.
You don't.
Boom, boom, boom.
Done.
All right. So, predictions. This is going to be interesting about what we all think is going to happen.
And now. Yeah, you didn't expect that, right?
Scared. Nurse Pam.
I'm going last
Okay,
because
all
I have to
right.
think about this.
All right,
I have to get my head together.
I'll say next episode, he eats coffee flavored ice cream. I think he has coffee flavored ice cream.
Sorry, I love that.
And yeah, that's all I got. I just don't know what's gonna happen.
You suck.
I just don't. All right, go. You
I'm gonna say that he's gonna eat rum raisin, but he's gonna stick with that. I don't know. I definitely think we'll see Nurse Pam again somehow. I think we're gonna get a little more backstory about the psychologist and about who's the Secret Service name that he was on the phone with that was talking to the psychologist. His main guy. Basically, I feel like we're gonna get.
Oh, Hassler, you're saying?
Hassler,
Okay,
yeah. So we're gonna get more from him. We're gonna get more from. I don't know. I mean, it's up in the air.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really have no idea. And obviously, Juliette Lewis is gonna do something crazy.
I have no idea. I do think that Ethan's gonna start meeting more people in Wayward Pines, and he's probably gonna get more clues. But it's just. You guys, I don't know.
Me too. I feel the same. Like
I'm mind blown. So
mind blown. So definitely Beverly and Ethan are gonna. I think Ethan's gonna play along for a little bit. So I'm like, all right, I'll play the game, but at the same time, they're gonna try to get out of the town, try to figure out a way. He's trying to get Kate to go with him, and Kate's gonna be a little reluctant. I think that the bigger picture, I'm not sure what it is, but I think the bombings and this may have something to do with each other. But it could be like a big twist that like there's some
maybe
I don't want to say terrorism, but
maybe
they are in the
because of
Secret Service.
Bombings, they like put him away, like
For like punishment.
Yeah, like punishment. They put him away. Well,
I don't know.
maybe
I don't know, but I think his past is gonna catch up with him in this town.
I think something's gonna happen where you don't know whether you can or cannot trust Juliette Lewis. Maybe
You just want to
I
trust
know
her.
that's just. I know that's very
it's
vague,
true.
but
And something's gonna happen with Kate. For
Yes.
sure, because she's living this life. That we
Oh,
don't
and
even
the
know
wife
about.
and the son are gonna come. They're gonna enter Wayward Pines.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know that? Or
I have a strong feeling.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna be a little bit more, helpful.
They're gonna try to get to him. Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
For sure.
Well, what do you guys think? We definitely want to know. Leave your comments, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. I hope you enjoyed this first after show for Wayward Pines. I hope you're able to follow along. It's a little bit confusing, but, just keep up with us and keep commenting, and we'd love to have you guys watch.
Yes, please.
Follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal and on Instagram at YouCanHaveItLal.
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Micheal_Drew. That's Michael EAL.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Paige Bonanno.
and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jordana_Morfin.
Thanks, guys. See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Hashtag ABTV Wayward Pines.
There you go.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.